Hi class, Dr. Shannon. I got to adjust this so I can see the time. I'm going to do my briefing on Ben Carson. Ben Carson is a neurosurgeon. He grew up in the inner city of Detroit. He was born on September the 18th, 1951. He was educated at Southwestern High, the School of Johns Hopkins, the University of Yale, and the University of Michigan Medical School. He was born in Detroit, Michigan. Ben was a troubled youth. I want to start. He didn't start out knowing that he was going to be a doctor. He didn't have parents that were doctors. Matter of fact, his mom didn't have anything over a third grade level education, but she was a good woman. She was determined that her boys was going to do better. She tried to instill in them that they could do anything that they wanted to do, and she made sure that they read. That was her number one thing. That was her pet peeve with them. You turn the TV off and you read. She would go to work and she would work 2 and 3 jobs to support her 2 boys. When she first got to Detroit, she was married, and her and her husband, Mr. Carson, they divorced, and she was left to raise the kids alone. Being during the time he was in school, he had low self-esteem. He had anger problems. The anger, I think, still instilled in him was more from he couldn't have the things that he thought he should have. He didn't feel that his mama was providing for him because she would get clothes and patch them up and little things that kids get bothered by. And during that time, it actually was not anything bad because, times were hard. But um, he was a poor student. And during his life, he managed to get past some of these things, and not before his anger got bad, though. Let me say that. His anger got worse. His anger got to the point where he was boasting up at his mom and swearing at his mom. He just was mad. I mean, it's no other word for it. He was mad. He was mad with the world. The world wasn't treating him well, and he just felt like he was out there by himself. Then, I tell you one thing that he got a joy out of. He got a joy out of reading, because when he was reading, he could actually go places and be people and do the things he wanted to do. It was imaginary. The book, whatever it was reading or whatever type of book it was, he'll put himself there and he could imagine he was somewhere else. I mean, all us have pretended from time to time that we was our mom, we were doctors, lawyers, or just old regular cashiers. I mean, we played and all, and he did the same thing. So that was his escape, because they couldn't go out because their mom was working, and so therefore they had to do what she said do, and he did for a long time until he boasted up at his mom that day and ran out, and I guess he was going to do what he wanted to do. And so him and one of his friends actually, got into an altercation at school, and he had got a knife from somewhere, and during the altercation, he got so angry because of whatever the young man was saying to him, he went and lodged at him with his knife. And the only thing that stopped him from hurting this child was that the knife broke on his belt buckle. And so after that, he realized, okay, why am I so angry? And so he ran home and, ran in the bathroom, and he took a Bible with him. He started praying to God and asking God, what's wrong with me? Why is my temper so bad? And he prayed about it and prayed it about it. And they say he got to the book of Proverbs, which is said, better a patient man than a warrior, a man who can control his temper than one who can take a city. So that was saying to him that he can control his temper. And in the end, what happened, he felt that he had full control of his actions. So his actions were actually, what he had to start looking at. He managed to pull his grades up. He managed to finish school. He went from, I should say, from poor grades to honor. He ended up going to medical school. He finished medical school by the time he was 33 years old. And when it was presented to him about the twins, he got together with a team of doctors and nurses, and the team of doctors and nurses, they came together. And this is the part that I would like to tell you why I think that he was a great leader, a great, I mean, he's still a leader, but he was a great leader in this particular situation. He brought together a team of doctors. He sat down, he told them what needed to be done. They had to come together. So there were all questions asked. He was a um, he was I'm trying to get this out. He was a great problem solver. So whatever problem they came up with, he had an answer for the problem. I think he was a great servant leader because he was a hand-on person. He was very talented. He was an honest person. He went to the parents. He told the parents what to expect, how long it would take, what was the ups, what was the downs, what was the maybes. He didn't want to give them any false hope. He had an insight of what could be done. There was a challenge to him. So he had all these people in place. He told them what they needed. He had an open door. Let's talk about it. It took some months for them to come together with this. And he made sure he knew every procedure that he needed to do. Another thing that being did that I think is really great. He gives scholarship to inner city kids. He goes out into the schools and he talks to the kids about where he came from, the things he went through, letting them know ain't nobody perfect. I had anger problems. I had to come to terms with it. I was going to either be in jail or I was going to make something out of myself. He goes out and he really put his heart into his work. And so that is being a servant. Someone that can is a hand-on person. He goes out and he's working with the kids and all. He did a quote that I really like and I would like to share with you all. It says successful people don't have fewer problems. They have a determination that nothing will stop them from going forward. That tells me that he does not mind leading. He does not mind putting himself out there. He wants to have a goal. He was not the probably the dictator, or he didn't want anybody to feel that he was micromanaging or anything like that. They all put everything on the table. They asked questions. They got the twins separated, and they are surviving. And I further research, I found that he was contemplating running for the president of the United States. He would make a great leader. I feel that he has did the path that has actually made steps to him being a great leader. So I think that Bill Carson is a great leader and he was a servant of his time. I thank you all for listening to me, and we are all going to be great leaders. Talk at you later. Thanks.